So I'm 7 feet tall. I try to lift weights um, a decent amount. I kind of just started lifting weights probably a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. Started with more calisthenics than anything. And what I'm gonna do today is log what I eat in a day and then try to show you the macros at the end. I already ate um, some eggs. I had 2 eggs, 2 egg whites, and I threw in about 18 grams of cheese, piece of toast. I make my own toast. Well, I make my own bread. I turn it into toast. You know how that process works. And then I am, so I did it about 7 a.m. It's about 9 a.m. Just had a cup of tea, about 60 grams of half and half, 10 grams of honey. And now I'm gonna have some cottage cheese. I like to mix the low-fat cottage cheese with the full-fat cottage cheese. I get this from Aldi. I've tried the like in between, like the 2% fat, and I find, I don't know, it just tastes weird to me. And the low fat tastes a little weird, but the full fat tastes a little heavy, so I mix it. My breakfast was about 25 grams. At the end of this video, I'll calculate it all up and put some screenshots or something, or whatever you call it, in the internet world, or sorry, YouTube world. So and now I'm probably going to eat about 150 grams of cottage cheese, which will be almost what, 15 to 18 grams, probably about 15 grams of protein. Bring me up to about 30 something grams of protein for the day, which is pretty low. I've had quite a bit of trouble hitting my protein target. If you're supposed to hit your protein target of 1 pound, 1 gram of protein for 1 pound, I weigh about 226, 227 pounds. So that's a lot of protein. I'm 45. I don't know if I should still be getting that much protein. I lift about every other day. Try to do a full body thing. I'll show you a little bit of my workout today too. Okay. I'm gonna have some cottage cheese. It's some blueberries. I'm gonna mainly focus on logging my protein target today as opposed to my full calorie, because that's a lot more work. So breakfast was about 23 grams of protein. I'm at about 42, so that cottage cheese was about 20 grams of protein, give or take. It's 9 o'clock or 9:30, and I'm at 42 grams, and started eating at about 7. So I'm trying to stay off the protein shakes. I don't know if it's mental or if it's actual, but I always feel like they upset my stomach a little bit. Although I can eat a ton of dairy and have no issues, I don't know. Either way, I'm sure at the end of the day it's better to get your protein from actual sources that aren't reconstituted with water. So I'm gonna have my second cup of tea. I put in a little bit of honey. Tends to be about 10 grams. Honey, well, probably more like 8 to 10. And then I use a little half and half. Most of the time, I measure it out. And that's just because, I don't know, I want consistency with my, I don't know, it's just not hard to measure it out. I probably put about 50 grams, something like that in there. Oops, it's hard to stir with your left hand when you're right-handed. So it's 10:43. I'm hungry again, so I'm gonna have 2 burger patties. These both have cheese on it, so it's probably about 150 grams, maybe a little less, 145 grams of 80/20 standard beef that someone would use for a hamburger. I'm gonna use a little bun. I'll show you. I'm always curious if I don't get enough carbs. I come from a low carb mindset that I did for probably 20 years. So I've been recently trying to introduce carbs back. Well, not recently. Cook Power 7, fancy. Not recently, but over the past probably 3 years, I've tried to introduce more carbs into my lifestyle. I don't really ever count carbs anymore, but I assume I'm low, but maybe I'm not low. So yeah, in terms of carbs, I've got 46 grams of carbs in this kind of hollowed out piece of bread that I did. I've only had another piece of bread this morning, probably another 50 grams of bread. I guess not of carbs, whatever. This is 46 grams of bread, not carbs. So there we go. A little avocado. It's a pretty big avocado, but I used about that much. Just a little bit of standard ketchup. I didn't use mayonnaise because I got the avocado, and I'm probably just gonna take a bite of bread, take a bite of burger because it wouldn't work on an open-faced bun. So this will probably be like my first lunch. I mean, I just kind of eat and snack all day. When I'm hungry, I work from home, so I can do that. So I'm still hungry, so I'm gonna have another burger. So that'd be 3 burgers. They're not fat, super big burgers. I mean, as you see, like, well, here, I'll show the ounces on them. I think I did I tear everything out? Here, let me tear everything out. Put this on there. Yeah, so it's only 53 grams, which in ounces is like nothing. It's less than a 2-ounce burger. So I've almost eaten 6 ounces of ground beef. I randomly try to get some vegetables. I used to eat a salad every day. But for better or for worse, ever since I've been trying to hit my protein target, I've been trying to hit my protein target, and salad doesn't achieve that goal. So I have been eating less salad. I try to still eat some vegetables, of course, because that's what I was told to do. I don't. Now online you find out, I don't know, are vegetables poisonous? Are they not? Anyways, I don't eat that many. I know avocado is not a vegetable, it's a fruit, but I eat that. I like it. It's easy. That guy who looks like V Shred, can't remember his name, Greg, something DeLong, something, last name with a D. He says to eat avocado with ground red meat because it stops the vascular restriction. So I like avocado, so I tend to put it on burgers. So just finished those burgers, each, which was about 205 grams of 80/20 meat, which comes to about 35 grams of protein. Then I accounted for 2 slices of cheese, even though some of the cheese melted off, but those were about 4 grams of protein per slice. So 35 plus 8, I think, is like 43. Yeah. So about 43 grams of protein. At this point, we're at 85 grams of protein, and it's about 11 o'clock. I would consider that my lunch. So let's see if we can hit 200 or above. That's usually my goal. I usually fall short of that. And I know tonight my wife's making fettuccine Alfredo, which will have some carbs in it, of course, a lot of fat. It's not typically something we eat, but obviously at least once a week you probably have something typically you don't eat. Like yesterday we had burgers, which, you know, is very protein focused. I'm actually gonna do some chicken for the fettuccine, so I'm sure I'll get a bunch of protein from that because it's gonna be chicken breast, low fat, so it doesn't fill you up as much. So 85 at 11 is really good for me. 85 grams of protein, that is. One odd thing that I do is I pretty much eat and then work out. I mean, I'm not jogging or, you know, and I gotta do some warm-up sets. Let me grab some water here. So, while I'm warming up, my food's digesting. I find, and I don't know if I have a blood glucose issue. I actually tested my blood sugar and it seems fine enough. I find, like, I think with most people, if they eat a decent meal like I just did, if I just sit, I tend to get kind of sleepy. So typically after every meal, I go for a little walk so I can hit my steps. But if I'm doing a workout, I'll eat my meal and then just start working out. Okay, it is 1:47. I'm gonna have another 127 ounces. I got chicken thighs and just some random ground chicken and ground beef. Without the sauce, probably about 120. Gonna throw some broccoli, rice in on there too. Here it is all together. It was like not a ton of rice. Maybe what, quarter a cup, half a cup. So I cut my hair. I do that all the time. It takes me about 15-20 minutes. Anyways, since then I've had another 135 grams of cottage cheese, bringing me up to about 260 grams of cottage cheese for the day. I just made some chicken, so that should be awesome because I'm right now at 125 grams of protein for the day. Let's see here. I'll take a big old piece here. It's me 180. Still need more to get to 200, but I'm going to start with that. We made fettuccine Alfredo, so I'm going to blow it out of the water in terms of calories and fat probably with this. I'm not going to eat a ton. See how many grams I do. So, I got to remember 180 on the chicken. Should probably be about 35 grams. Oops. Protein. So I'll need to have another meal at least. Oops, sorry for the bad camera. So I got some fettuccine. Not a ton there. Okay. So I got some fettuccine. See how many grams that is. 75 grams of fettuccine. I'm gonna grab this. I got these frozen vegetables from Costco. And I just roasted them in the oven. They don't taste as great as fresh vegetables, so I'm trying to get rid of them. My wife typically do a bunch of fresh vegetables, but she's getting home late today, so I did this. These vegetables look better than they'll taste. I did throw in some fresh tomatoes from the garden. Cherry tomatoes. So, I'll eat this, and then I'll tally up the protein. Okay, so done with that is about 40 grams of protein. Actually, those vegetables were pretty good. I'll show you the bag. I think the first time I did them, I didn't put enough salt and olive oil on them. And actually, I cooked them in the chicken juice. These are just from Costco. I cooked them in the chicken juice from the chicken breasts I just made. Then threw a bunch of olive oil and a good amount of salt. Okay, we're at about 167 grams of protein. I'm trying not to do protein shakes. So obviously, to hit a target of about 200, I need a little over 40 more grams of protein. It's about 530. Technically, if I wanted to do 1-to-1, it'd be another 26 grams after that, but I think I'm just gonna shoot for 200. I'm gonna try to stay off the cottage cheese because I've already had almost 300 grams of cottage cheese today. So I don't know if I'll leave this in, but supplements I take are, I'm gonna take some turmeric, some fish oil. I sometimes take magnesium before bed. I'm gonna take about 3 grams of creatine, 4 grams of creatine, because I'm a weirdo, and I think if I take 1 less gram than the suggested, I don't know, that nothing, I won't get any side effects. Not that there are any side effects. The creatine I used to use this creatine, classic creatine, but it's got a probiotic in it, and I don't know, I don't want a probiotic. Well, I mean, it sounds dumb to say that, but I don't want random stuff. I just wanted 100% creatine. So this, I just got at Meijer. It's fine enough. So this was my dinner. A little bit of chicken. Not too much, actually. And then a little bit of fettuccine Alfredo, homemade with some Parmesan. And then I obviously didn't eat that much here, so I have another little snack right before bed. 45 grams of chicken and a little bit more carbs here. Not a ton, just a touch. And it's about 8 o'clock. I zoom in on the clock here in a second, but it's not a great video. 8:05 is the time. So, had my last meal at 8:05. As you saw, they kind of trickled in with the chicken. Chicken was super important because that allowed me to hit my target, which I did, or a little beyond, of 204. Like I said, I weigh 226, but right now I'm just trying to hit 200. And for me, it isn't easy. I like to eat smaller meals because it allows me, like, I sit all day, so I don't want to like eat a huge meal. and then sit there. I mean, maybe I should change my habits and just eat a bigger meal. But also, I find, at least I think I do. Oh, there's a car coming by. I'm going to pause it so it's not loud. Oh, by the way, I'm outside getting my finals, my steps in. Try to hit 8,000 steps a day. So anyways, I find that if I go over like 50 grams of protein per meal, kind of upsets my stomach and I start to get, protein gas. Anyways, it's basically all day, every meal, focus on protein first. And if I do that, I can hit about 200, sometimes 225, but that's usually with a protein shake, which I'm trying to slow down on. So this was 224, no protein shakes, just normal stuff, eggs, beef, little cheese, a lot of cottage cheese. Pretty much right from the beginning of the day. Okay, I'm gonna finish out these steps and head home.